Here's what happens. Elon Musk's net worth before Doge, 400 billion. After Doge, 749 billion. Oh, thank God, dude. You know what's really funny about this this endless greed? The number of people who are the super winners in the system are shrinking as well. Like, at least back in the day when you didn't have like billionaires, when billionaire was a new phenomena, right? You had objectively more one percenters or the highest, percentage of wealth retainers was still distributed amongst a much larger percentage of the population. It's going to get to a point where it's just 10 guys that own everything. Like, this article covers that, for the record. This article is exactly what I'm talking about. America's 15 richest billionaires got $1 trillion richer as the affordability crisis became a top concern. For many Americans, 2025 wasn't a great year financially. The affordability crisis and general economic concerns became defining themes of the year as people dealt with rising costs and a worsening job market. But for billionaires, 2025 was a boon for their already exuberant wealth. The 15 richest billionaires in the United States saw their wealth grow by more than $1 trillion over the course of the year, according to new analysis from the Institute for Policy Studies, a Washington, D.C. think tank. As the end of 2025, those 15 billionaires, each with assets over $100 billion, have a combined wealth of $3.2 trillion, up from $2.4 trillion a year ago. That's a gain of 33%. Do you feel like you got 33% wealthier this year? Did you? I certainly didn't. And I'm actually in like the highest rungs of earners in this country and perhaps around the world, as a matter of fact. I didn't fucking have a 33% gain, which is more than double the growth of the S&P 500 for the same time period. The Institute for Policy Studies notes over 2025, the S&P 500 rose 16%. A double-digit gain is strong, but it is down from recent years. How the wealth of the top 5 billionaires, richest billionaires, have changed. Not only did billionaires get richer in 2025, but more Americans became billionaires. At the end of 2024, there were 813 billionaires in the U.S., and those billionaires had a combined wealth of $6.72 trillion. My bad, King. I'll give more subs. Yeah, get to it. Get to it. Chop, chop. Subscribe to the Piker Broadcasting Service. If you want to know the news of tomorrow, if you want to know what happens tomorrow, you come here. If you want to understand what's happening today, you come here. If you want to make sense of what happened yesterday, you come here. The Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you, the viewers, for you, the viewers. Thank you. Yes, we're going to do predictions after this. By the end of 2025, there were 935 billionaires. When Forbes first began tracking the 400 wealthiest Americans in 1982, Cloud Queen, think of the 5 gifted. There were just 13 billionaires on the list. 1982, there were 13 billionaires. Now there's 935. And the fucking dumbest thing is that people think this is awesome. Like, people literally think this is good for them. I cannot comprehend how people ride for this shit. Where they're like, what do you mean? Do you hate prosperity? It's like, bitch, do you feel prosperous? That's so much money. They can't even use it. Like, it's just parked in assets, dude. If you were to forcibly divvy those assets down to the individuals that actually played a role in developing that wealth, that net worth, you would have a fuck ton better wealth redistribution. The top 5 wealthiest billionaires have changed over the last year, too, at least in the beginning. The top wealthiest billionaires were Tesla CEO Elon Musk, Amazon executive chair Jeff Bezos, Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, Google co-founder Larry Page. This year, Zuckerberg was bumped off that list. Oh, no. Oh, bummer, dude. You see that shit? God, I feel so bad for the Zuck. Sergey Brin joined the ranks. 2025 was the best year for Google stock since 2009, with shares growing 65%, buoyed in part by tech giants push into AI. In contrast, stock price for Zuckerberg's Meta platforms grew about 13%, though Meta also focused on AI. His strategy was more scattershot, experts have said. Yeah, now you got Elon Musk, of Tesla, X, and SpaceX worth $722 billion, up from $421 billion a year ago. But that's because he worked so hard this year, guys. He worked so hard. It must have been all the illegal immigrants that are ruining your life, okay? Making sure that you don't actually take home a decent pay. Make sure you don't get the benefits you deserve. Make sure we don't have socialized medicine in this country. No working fucking public transit system. No adequate infrastructure. Please keep focusing on the Somali fraud. Please, I'm begging you. Do not look up. Do not look up. Look down. Look down only. Punch down. Punch down. Punch down. It's the Somalis. The Somalians, actually. Okay? Larry Page of Google, worth $257 billion. Larry Ellison of Oracle, worth $245 billion, up from $209 billion. Jeff Bezos of Amazon, worth $242 billion, up from $233 billion. Sergey Brin of Google, worth $237 billion, up from $148.9 billion a year ago. What is this? Your governor was a fun side quest for him, by the way. An affordability crisis for average Americans. At this point, money just seems fake. It is. It's the fakest it's ever been. I say this all the time. This is the fakest money has ever been in the history of mankind. And this isn't even like on some, we got to go back to the gold standard shit, okay? But this is the fakest money has ever been. It will probably get even faker. It's crazy, though. It's so fake. Apparently, the LDS Church is now the second largest private landowner in the U.S. with 2.3 million acres tax-free, worth $300 billion in market assets. Tax the churches. Nice. Oh. 5-year-old me has been vindicated. I always thought money was fake. Yeah, no, this is it. This is literally what's going on. Do you get it yet? Are those daycares even real? Yep. I live in a very Republican area, and hearing people around me begrudgingly admit that their financial situation has only gotten worse over the last year is something I never thought I'd see during a Trump presidency. Remember, what did I say? What did I say when I was actually criticizing the Biden administration for fucking running with this like vibeflation or vibe session narratives, right? People were saying like, "Oh, dude, the negative real wage growth that people experience under the Biden administration, that's just fake. That's just fake. If we just keep saying fake, then people will understand it." No, they didn't. They actually got more mad because they were like, "It don't feel fake to me, bitch." And that's what's frustrating because Trump thinks he can do the same thing now. It's not working. It's not going to work. And what did I always explain to people, even up in the a big part of this narrative building that was lost, like a real part of this conversation that was lost, was that in the narrative building, people forgot that in 2016, things were seemingly a lot better than it is in 2024, and yet they were still so angry about their future prospects that they voted for Donald Trump to break the system. That was a clear-cut indication that the system was not working for them. So much so that they actually wanted to punish a remnant of the elite Hillary Rodham Clinton by voting for the gamble, the wild card, Donald Trump. This was something that I tried to explain to people back then. People, I mean, objectively, in comparison to now, the average person was probably doing better than they are in 2020 or than they were in 2024. Okay. One must ask the question, why? Democrats refuse to ask that question, and that's why we keep losing. Okay? That's why there's always another fucking incompetent fascist who ends up winning power. But that is precisely the reason why I said that Republicans would inevitably feel this pain as well. Because no matter how much Trump tries to claim that things are getting better, no matter how much Trump tries to say, oh, dude, the economy's so good, but if it's bad, it's because of Biden. And it's not bad. It's actually good. But the worst parts about it is because of Biden. You're not going to, or no matter how much Donald Trump says, like, oh, it's the Somalis, it's that we just haven't deported enough people. Okay? Oh, your turkey is 35% off. You got 35% more money in your pocket from the turkey that you purchased during Thanksgiving. Okay? You cannot out propaganda how people are feeling in their wallets. Okay? You just can't do that. It's what they're seeing. It's what they're experiencing. It's what they're living. That's it. Of course, as the conditions worsen, the more people hammer on this point, right? The more they keep doing this shit. Conditions keep getting worse. And as Republicans start recognizing, like, wait a minute, this Trump guy, he's not fucking helping me out either. Some people will turn around and say, oh, no, it's because he hasn't deported enough minorities, right? He hasn't deported enough. That's why, because he's fake. He's fake. He's phony. We got to deport even more people, which that's never going to fucking happen, right? Because at the end of the day, Donald Trump is not so racist that he will literally nuke the American economy to the degree that it would nuke the American economy if you actually deported every single migrant. It's just not going to happen. You sure? Yes. And I said that. I said that in 2025 as a part of my predictions, and I was fucking right. Stephen Miller might be that guy, but you have to remember. Okay? You have to remember. The entire point of shitting on the migrant worker, is so that they stay undocumented. Because if you come at it with a recognition that the migrant worker is no different than the domestic laborer, and that they should also get a higher, they should bargain alongside one another to demand a bigger piece of the pie that they are generating, all of a sudden he's not going to have unlimited cookies. And we can't have that. So that propaganda both works as a distraction, but it also is an important it's an important position to consistently reassert so that nobody gets the wrong idea and starts thinking that these guys are actually human beings and that they need to, what is this? Money should be nothing but the condensed value of labor. Apes need to be separated. Need to stay separated. What the fuck are you talking about, chatter? Explain yourself right now. Is GDP growth a helpful indicator or not? No, fuck no, it's not. The fuck do you mean? That's why when Butlick went on Fox News, we laughed when he was like, GDP growth in December was 4.3%. That means every American is going to have 4.3% more money in their pockets. That's not how anything works. The fuck? Tell the joke is on? No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, no country can sustain losing 1/3 of its population and remain standing. This is suicidal stupidity. This post uses Hiroshi Nagai's artwork without permission. Hiroshi Nagai himself has also posted his illustrations are being used without authorization. The peace of a nation no longer besieged by the third world. America after 100 million deportations. 100 million deportations? Tell the joke. It's good. I love telling it because of you. Brother, explain yourself. What do you mean? What is... All right, take a week off. Tell the joke. Oh, my God. Two economists walk into the woods. There's a dog shit that they happen to be near. One economist says to the other, hey, if you eat this dog shit, I'll give you $100. Economist 2 picks up the piece of dog shit and eats it. They keep walking. He gets the $100. They keep walking. They see another piece of dog shit. Economist number 2, now freshly $100 richer, turns to economist number 1 and says, hey, if you eat that piece of dog shit, I'll give you this $100. Economist number 2 says, or economist number 1 says, sure, eats the piece of dog shit, gets the $100. They leave the forest and they think to themselves, why did we do this? What good came out of this? We both ate dog shit and none of us actually made money. Economist number 1 says, but the GDP increased by $200. That's GDP. That's what it is. Last time you said it was $50. Inflation is crazy. Now tell the same joke like Elon Musk. Economist eats dog shit. Give me $1 trillion. Thank you. Comedy is legal now. Comedy is legal now, libtard. If you don't laugh at my joke, I'm going to deport you. Is that good? Dark MAGA. God, remember when that dickhead was all over the television? The Dark MAGA. Dark MAGA. God, I fucking hate him so much. He sucks.